And making his way over here is a man who shot 39 on the back nine yesterday and took all my money.
39?
39 on the back nine yesterday.
Only was the back.
Throw that on, Big Game James Worthy is here. Mychal,
we got to put you in that challenge match with Steph and Clay, not Kelsey and Mahomes.
Mychal, he only mentioned the back nine.
Why? Did you shoot better on the front nine?
We're not talking about the front nine.
Oh.
No, he had a John Ireland round. You know what he did? 10 shots worse on the front than he was on the back. But on the back, he dialed in.
So what happened on the turn? What worked for you?
Well, I had one of those moments where I just remembered back in the 80s when I wasn't playing so well.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next morning. I read in the Times that, I was on the trading blocks. And I had to turn things around, Mychal. Right. You know how that is.
I remember that. It was for Mark Aguirre and Roy Topley. But Jerry West said, you trade Worthy, I'm resigning.
Yeah, Jerry West kept Jerry West, you guys both owe Jerry West. Jerry West traded for you, Mychal.
Yep.
And James, he protected you.
And he also stopped the Kevin Love for Clay trade to Minnesota.
And, his initials are J-A-W, and mine are J-A-W.
There you go.
So he was always in my corner. He and Bill Sharman assured me that if Ralph Sampson stayed, but then I found out from my friend John that there was a later story, but the Lakers did assure that they would draft me if I was
and it came down to the decision between you or Dominique Wilkins, right?
Yes.
For the Lakers to draft.
And that, again, was Jerry West.
Right. And, of course, Dominique's a great player, but your game fitted the Lakers better than Dominique's.
Well, the Lakers didn't need anybody. They had won 2 out of 3 championships against Philadelphia. They didn't need a scorer. They had the great Jamal Wilkes, Bob McAdoo, Kareem Magic, So they needed someone to fit in, and, one of Dean Smith's boys, like you, Mychal.
That's right.
Another number 1 draft pick. People forget,
you guys had a bunch of them.
Out of Minnesota, and we picked Mychal up in 87 to deal with his former teammate Kevin Mychal, and all things worked out.
Now you see on that mural over there, James Worthy, there's some great Laker duos, right?
Yes.
To me, the greatest Laker duo of all time is Magic and Kareem. For you, who would it be out of all those great duos you have on the wall?
Well, for me,
he's a little biased towards
it's hard.
Magic
It's hard to
Kareem
argue against Shaq and Kobe.
Really?
Particularly, I'm saying it's hard to argue against.
Yeah.
Particularly had they stayed together and won more championships.
Yeah.
But the fact that Kareem and Magic, really the rebirth of the NBA. Remember, Kareem was already here with Jamal and some really good players. But I'm going to have to go with the way Magic and Kareem played the game and, what they did collegiately as well. Their full body of work. Of course, I'm going with my guys.
If Kareem came along today, big game, would he have to learn to shoot threes?
He would have to learn to defend the three.
Right.
Because there are some centers that still don't shoot the three as well. But they, I look at a guy like Brook Lopez, who
for the first 7 years he didn't take any.
Was never a three and converted. I don't see Kareem shooting the three. I saw him shoot a couple. He didn't have that. But more importantly, having to defend a guy like Kevin Durant,
right,
or a shooter that shoots the three, for a Jokic who you can stretch the floor. That would be the issue with Kareem. But other than that, I don't see any.
I have this
still
argument.
have to stop him.
I have this argument with my son Clay all the time about this new era of the NBA, all about threes, right? So I tell him. So you're trying to tell me. Because Clay thinks the low post center is passe now. So I always say, you mean to tell me if you had a Shaq or a 19-year-old Kareem come out in the draft, you wouldn't take him number 1 over a guy like Steph? And, of course, these young guys, they say, no, they're going with the three-point shooter. They're crazy. You always take a guy like Kareem or Shaq if you can get them.
Those are dominant centers.
Right.
And I'm saying when you have centers like that in the post, you're going to demand double team, triple team, which is going to make the three-point shooters even freer and uncontested shots. So when you have a guy like Shaq who's versatile, can get up and down the floor, so could Kareem. Kareem was an excellent passer.
Yep.
It just depends on who that center is. Not all centers could, but those two that you just mentioned, for sure, you'd want to have
If
them
you had a center
game.
like Hakeem Olajuwon, would you utilize him as much now as Houston did 30 years ago, or would you gravitate towards more threes?
Yeah, because Jokic is that type of player. Jokic can shoot the three, but a lot of his damage is done free throw line.
Yeah.
His jump hook is to me as just as potent as Kareem's sky hook. Not as potent, but just as. Doesn't miss. Soft touch. The rim is really friendly. So, yeah, I think Akeem Olajuwon would kill him from free throw line and with his, dream shakes and his offense. He can hit the 12-footer. Yeah, your hands would be full.
We're talking to the great James Worthy. We're at Lakerstown event in Koreatown, brought to you by bibigo. James is here along with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, AC Green, a bunch of Laker legends here to welcome this new mural into Koreatown and be a part of this first ever Lakerstown bibigo event.
James, why does everything Riley touch turn to gold? Here he is again in the finals. I think this might be his 24th or 25th finals he's been involved with as a player, coach, and executive out of 77 years in this.
That's a good question. I asked Michael that earlier, James. Why do you think Riles succeeds where others don't?
You have to know his history, who he is, where he started. In New York as a football player, quarterback, drafted as a football player, decided to go to Kentucky, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, tough as nails to start with, okay? Jerry West's prep boy, to get Jerry West.
Right, went at him at practice every single day.
Absolutely. Nobody is prepared or well-read and not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid to challenge. He's not afraid to challenge Magic. He's not afraid to challenge Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
LeBron.
He said what was needed to be said, and sometimes he would stay a little bit more to get you to where you needed to be. He is an excellent communicator, whether you like what he says or not. Preparation, you're not going to be more prepared than he is, and he can think on his feet. He's passed that down. I can see it.
With
He's
Spoelstra.
passed that
That's
down
a good
to
point.
Spoelstra,
Yeah.
who was a video guy, and you can see that same. He's put his formula and his hand on that, and that's what good GMs and presidents do. We had a good one with Jerry West.
Yeah.
Same similar type thing, but to know Pat, to know his toughness and his preparation and his love for his players and what he wants to achieve.
James Worthy is with us. A big game. Was this season a success for the Lakers, in your opinion?
For the first time in my Laker career without winning the championship, I will say yes.
Kind of has to be, right, the way they turned it around. I know Rob Pelinka would probably say, no, we didn't win the title, but James, they were the number one defensive team post-trade deadline. I think they found something. To me, I don't think you can say it wasn't a success.
Michael and I will always say it's not a success if you don't win a championship.
Right.
This is the first time I've ever said, given the circumstances. Now, I didn't like the 2-10 start, but I knew that the cohesiveness and the chemistry was not there. Now, I had the All-Star break been like November,
yeah.
and they got these players together and had a chance to grow, but they had to fight so hard, It was almost like they were in playoff mode since December, just trying to get to the playoff game. 2-10, a 0.2 percentage chance of even making the play-in game, and then to do what they did against Memphis and Golden State, the chemistry was starting to get there, even though Ham didn't really have a lot of time. Different lineups. I think we had the most lineups throughout the season.
Yeah, I think 31 different starting lineups.
Injuries. I would say I would walk away with I wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd walk away with a little bit of a satisfaction that we did what we did.
All right, thanks for doing this, man.
You got it,
Great
brother.
to see. I'll see you in the morning, right?
So
Yes, sir.
We'll see you on the
Tuesdays, our
live.
date.
We'll see you on the live golf tour.
No. I'm on this barely alive golf.
He's getting there. He's
All right,
getting there.
guys.
That's the great James Worthy. We're live in Koreatown at a Lakerstown event brought to you by bibigo. Back with more Laker legends after this on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
That's right.